Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here to tell you about a year-long collab that I'm going to be doing. Cori Dahmen here on YouTube is kind of doing a Little Bits of Lace 2024 on her YouTube channel, and she has kindly offered anybody else that has wanted to do videos on how they use up their little bits of lace that they could go ahead and join in. So I am going to join in because of course I love playing with paper and lace. It's right up my alley, and I have a ton of laces and trims in my stash that I am constantly using up. I do love to make journals, but I also like to make other like fabric and lace projects. So usually when I make a fabric and lace project, I have lots of laces left over. And so for this year, I am going to try and house everything that I do for this collab into an actual journal or somehow incorporate it onto a journal. And so what I decided to do is I'm going to create an envelope flip journal, and I have two that I've made in the past right here, and I will link these below in the description box. So if you want to see what they're all about, you can do that. I'm not going to do a total flip through, but it's a little bit of a journal, a little bit of like an envelope journal. This one actually was supposed to go like this, but so it flips. You know, there's spots to put stuff in envelopes, tags. You can see I've used lots of lace, little bits of lace throughout this one. This one I made for Tailor-Made Designs, Lorna Taylor, when she was kind enough to give everybody a couple of kits to work with for a design team project. So I did make this one when I was doing that, and it's one of my favorite journals that I've made. So I'm going to make something similar. In the middle of it, I have actual just writing space with, you know, a little small amount of lace on the middle. And then this was another style of one that I made, again, very similar. So I'm going to do something similar to that for this collab for this year. I will show my progress on how I put together one of these, so stay tuned for that. I'm just finishing up another start to finish journal with me on my YouTube channel, so I don't have that one very far yet. I'm going to do as much as I can off camera, but I'll put it together with you guys, just the basic part of it so you can see, and then I'll go ahead and start adding little bits of lace inside of it for this year-long collab. And then before I kind of get going, I was going to do maybe one little thing on how I like to use my lace to start showing you guys, but I thought maybe I would also tell you real quick how I like to store my lace. And I store it in several different ways. I am blessed to have a very large craft room, and the style is kind of a vintage flea market style with a little bit of shabby chic overtones is kind of how I would describe my craft room. And so I have lots of different spots in my room. I store laces in jars, on shelves, in dressers. I have some sewing machine drawers. I also have some clear containers that I use to store my laces. So I just thought I would show you real quick how I store some of my laces. My kind of go-to method for storing laces is on mat board. And the reason why I started doing it this way is my husband does wildlife photography, and for a while he did sell his photographs at like craft shows, and he would cut his own mats. And so these are like the middle parts of the mats where normally the photo would go in. And so it was a perfect way for me to be able to store lace. I would just wrap them around, and then I would either use those gourd pins or bulb pins, or else just little stick pins to close them up. And I usually try to store like lace together, like colors. And so I do put them on shelves so I can kind of see them from this side, and then also in drawers. You know, here's another one. And also I do like colors together and styles. I do wrap some of my favorite laces. I have a die cut that cuts out kind of like little lace winders. I don't know what's the correct term for these. But I do like to use up like last pieces of papers from scrapbooking paper pads, cover them, and then I add little flowers up at the top and decorate it, and I use it for my favorite laces. So I have a big size and a little size. So I do that. I also have like a vintage spools like this that I wrap my laces on. And I stick them in a little container or a large jar, in my craft room in a basket, those types of things. I also have some that have been housed on like little clothespins. This one was decorated really cute by my friend Amy Love here on YouTube. I do have some that are plain that I've done, but she did decorate a few of these for me a while back in a swap. And that was one of the pretty laces that she decorated with me, or not decorated, but sent me. And usually I store laces. They have to be at least a yard or more for me to use these different methods for storing. And the other couple things that I like to do is, and I forgot to grab it before I sat down to film, but I have little teacups, like vintage teacups in my room. So if I get lace from swaps or friends, I will stick them in the teacups for a while before I wind them up and put them on, you know, the mat board or on spools or on these little winder bobbin things, whatever you want to call them. And so I do keep them in the teacups just because it's fun to see what people sent in swaps, and then I remember right away who gave them to me. And then the other thing that I have is, I think it's called a terrarium. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but usually they have little plants in them. I do have one of these that I thrifted, and I love it. The top does open up, but I can just stick my hand in here. And so when I was on Kim's design team of Angel Dreams Crafts Kim on Etsy, I did store all of her laces in this little terrarium. And I've kind of continued to do so. She's one of my favorite places to buy laces from. So I've just kind of kept them in there. And at times I have had them wrapped on spools and stuff in there. But for right now, it's just kind of a little hodgepodge of all of her laces and trims sitting in there. I also store in kind of some old vintage jars, and these jars I just put like the crocheted lace trim that you pick off of like pillowcases, like vintage ones, and I just like to put them in the jars. So I do have a couple of these jars in my craft room with that type of lace for storage. And then the final thing I'm going to show you now is how I actually store my little bits of lace, or my small pieces of lace. I do have this one little container. You can see if I take the stuff out, it does have little compartments in it. And I added secondary compartments that I somewhat sort out the lace. These are like, if I'm working on a project and I might just need a little bit of lace, I usually grab this first to dig through this, because I can set it off to the side of my desk and just dig through it to find little bits and pieces while I'm just playing with things if I don't have anything specific that I'm wanting to use. So I use that for storing some of my little bits of lace. I also have this small little box. And this one actually is more like for the really little bits of lace or the really odds and ends. Like I made a whole bunch of like flowers, and I cut this tulle up so you can kind of see it's not really usable. Same with this one. I've cut off a lot of the lace, and these are the ones where I might snip them and just use the bits and pieces, the really small pieces on things. So that's what I keep in this little container. And then anything that's under 12 inches, like for me, again, that's kind of a little bit of lace. So 12 inches or less, I do sort out into these little plastic containers that I bought off of Amazon. They're clear, and I sort them based on styles of lace. Like this one has more gathered lace in it that's been already gathered at the top. This is my fancier or higher end laces. This ones are maybe the types of laces that I use in tassels or as closures. These probably won't work as closures because they're a little long or short. But I do keep them in there. I have a bag, and this one usually, I have a few more, but I kind of ran out. Anytime I snip off like a little flower piece on some sort of lace or trim, and I'm not going to use it, I stick it in here just because once in a while you just really could use one of those little flowers on a project. I also store my like flat pieces of lace after I've made a larger project, like if you make like an envelope pouch or something, and you have just bits of lace left, like this style of lace, I usually keep in there. They're just, you know, smaller bits of that style of lace. I also coordinate colors, so I have every color. I have a package for every color. So this is my pink one. And then I also have one for my dangle trims. So anything that has dangles on it gets put in here if they're snippet. So I just wanted to show you guys though how I store some of my stuff, just in case you're curious about that. Since this collab is all about using up little bits of lace, I thought I would start, again, I'm going to start that envelope journal. But I thought I'd pull out a couple of things just to give you some ideas to start with. And this is going to be a page that's going to get glued on to one of the envelopes. And so what I was thinking for here, one of the things I like to do with my smaller bits and pieces of lace, and again for me, I'm defining that anything that's under 12 inches or less, is I do like to make pockets on pages. So I was thinking for this one, I'm going to sew this one down, and then I'll have a nice little pocket right there. So I will sew that down on camera, but come back and show you what that looks like. So that's what I was planning on doing for this little page. So I like to use lace to actually make pockets in my journals. And then kind of on that same theme, I do like to make pockets on tags. So I have two different tag styles here that I'll need to finish up. This one I just cut out, I cut out two pieces. And this one's just a couple of circles that I cut out. So I was going to make a circle tag also. And so what I was thinking on this one, again, I had this pretty lace, and I'm just probably going to use a little bit of this lace. But I was thinking, again, I might make a pocket on my tag. So if I just sewed around right here, I would still have a little pocket up here, and that would look really cute. And then I still have a little bit of this lace left to use on another project. And then for this tag, I'm going to sew, I have this little snippet piece left over. It's 12 inches. And I was thinking it might be fun to make like a double pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over, or a pocket on the front side and back side, not necessarily a double pocket on the same side. But I'm going to fold this over, and I'm still going to sew around all the edges, but you'll be able to have a pocket up here and a pocket back here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. I'm going to go and sew these, and then I'll come back and show you the finished results. So I just finished sewing on all of my pockets onto the tags, and also onto the page that I'm going to use in the envelope journal that I'm working on. And so I just thought I'd come back and show you guys what they look like. So here's that first one. Again, I'm using little bits of lace as pockets on tags. So there's the first one. And I think I'm going to decorate that one up, but I'll show you all of them first, and then we can decorate them together if you want. And then here's the next one, and I just wanted to show you what they look like when I took them off the sewing machine. So again, this one I just folded over, and I sewed around the tag. And this one is, you know, a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back using lace. So again, using lace as a pocket. So that's what that one looks like. And again, I might add a little bit more embellishment to that one. And then the last one that I'm doing today, again, is using lace as a pocket on an actual page. And so here's what this one looks like. Again, I'll have lots of lace left on this one to be able to use on some other projects. This one might even have enough left on it to make one more pocket on a page. So that's kind of nice. And again, for me, I'm defining little bits of lace as anything 12 inches or less. And so that's my cute little pocket there. This one will make a good little snippet down the road. So I have these three that I finished for today's episode, and then I figured I could add a little bit more embellishment to these. And so what I was thinking, again, I dug through the lace and I found this piece. I think this one originally came from Hobby Lobby maybe. And I thought that might look kind of cute hanging off the bottom. Again, I'm going to use this one as a page in my envelope journal. It's going to get glued onto one of the envelopes. And so I'm just going to cut it off to the right size right now for that. And then I'll still have a little bit left for something else. So I thought I would do that. And then I had this piece also that's 12 inches. And this is one of my favorite trims. I like edging things out with this one, but I thought this would be kind of cute to layer up on top of that. And then I'm going to add some little flat back pearls into the insides of these little flowers. Usually I like to use Fabri-Tac for my glue for paper and lace. I also have my heat gun, or not heat gun, but glue gun right next to me too if this doesn't work. My tacky glue or Fabri-Tac's been kind of funny lately, so we'll just see. So I'll have to do a little trimming on the sides, but that's no big deal. And let's see on this one. I'll put a little more glue on top. So I am going to trim the sides of that, but I'm just going to let it attach for another minute or so before I cut it off. And I think the only other thing I was thinking I might want to do on here, I found this little bit of lace also that came off of something from a design team from a long time ago. And I thought that might look kind of nice up in the corner. So I'm going to cut that off, or part of this off. I'm just going to use the rose part on this one and add that to the top of this page that I'm working on. So I am going to start a list of all the ways that I'm using my little bits of lace in this envelope journal that I'm working on, and I will start including those in the description box below. I'll just start number 1, number 2, number 3. They're not necessarily in any particular order, but just the order that I do the videos. So again, today's episode, I'm kind of focusing on using lace as pockets on either tags or pages. And let's see, so let's go to this little circle tag, and I thought about adding an eyelet or something up on top, but I think I'm going to wait for that. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put this in the journal yet, so I just want to wait. But I did want to add just maybe a small amount of embellishment to this one, and I came across this lace in my stash of little bits of lace. And so I'm going to add that around here. And to make it kind of go around the circle a little bit better, I'm just going to trim a little bit, or snip in, I guess, just so that it goes nicely around the circle here. So here's what it looks like so far. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this trim off now and kind of even this one up a little bit. And so that's kind of what that one looks like so far. Again, this is the page one. I'm going to add the flat back pearls to that one, but I still have this little bit of lace left. And I was thinking that this one's needed a little bit more embellishing. So I'm going to cut the flowers out and add them to the little spots right here. I always like to tell people not to be afraid to to snip off bits and pieces of your current lace to make it work for your project. And like I said, I kind of wanted a couple of little flowers on here, so I think that's going to look really cute. So I am going to go ahead and glue down these little pink flat back pearls into the middle of the flowers on this one too, since I have them out. And then I'll finish this page up next. I'm hoping I can control my glue gun because these are really tiny pearls. That I don't put too much glue on here. But I find the hot glue works the best for embellishments like that. If it was straight on paper, I would probably use glossy accents, but I haven't had much luck with the glossy accents on the flowers. So here's the finished little circular tag that I did. And again, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it in my journal yet. So I'm going to wait because I still might add an eyelet with some lace up at the top, but I'm not sure. And you can stick like a little tag or something inside of here. I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but I just wanted to show you. I really like that. That's really cute. And so let's finish decorating the page and then we'll work on the other tag real quick. So again, this one I'm going to do, I'll show you what I have so far with the 3 different layers. We have the pocket and this lace and then also the dangle lace. I added the little bit up there also. And I want to add the flat back pearls to the little flowers on this one also. So again, here's the finished result of gluing those cute little pearls into the middle of the flowers. And again, this is going to be a page in a journal. And so I have one last pocket to decorate here. And this is a pocket on a tag. And again, I have the pocket on the front side and also the back side. And I think I want to glue some trim onto the bottom of this one also. So I have this leftover piece. And for this one, I'm just going to use the hot glue just because the beads are a little bit heavier. And I just want to make sure it sets up okay. And this tag might be kind of fun to attach with a paper clip or something in my journal. And so let's see, I think I want to decorate the back side also. I just want to see what this looks like from the other side. And I'm using this little bit of lace for on the back side. So again, this one will be fun to stick something inside like a journal card or something. All I have is just this tag sitting here. That's not going to be the final thing, but I just wanted to show you. And I think I need just a little bit more embellishment on here. And so I thought, first of all, I'm going to add a little bit of lace, and I have this eyelash trim. And I'm going to attach it to the top here. And I think I want to add a little bit more embellishment. So I have this snippet left over of lace. And also this one that got cut off from some sort of trim. So I thought that would look kind of cute layered up. So I'm going to put those two down up here. I think I'd rather use I always prefer using the Fabri-Tac over the hot glue if I can. Just the heavier laces, I'll use the the hot glue. I just don't like how stiff it feels, the hot glue when it dries on projects, so I just prefer the Fabri-Tac. So we'll just add that little bit there. I'll probably do another episode where I create more snippets like this with maybe a little bit more lace. So here's what the finished tag looks like up close. And again, there's the back side. So the more I think about it, I think I do want to add some sort of ribbon or lace up to the top of this tag. So I'm just going to add an eyelet. And we might as well add some eyelash trim and some lace from my leftover bits bag. See if I can string it through. And there's the finished results of that one. Thank you again, everybody, so much for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed my first installment of Little Bits of Lace 2024. And again, today I focused on using lace as pockets, whether it's a pocket on a page or a pocket on a tag. That was kind of my main focus for today. And hopefully I'll be back a couple of times, 2 to 3 times a month, to show you progress on different ways to use little bits of lace in your journals. And also, don't forget to open up that description box. I will have a link for Cori's channel so that you guys can check out her initial video. I will also have links for the other journals that I mentioned. And then also, if you want to see what everyone is up to that's participating in this challenge, use the hashtag Little Bits of Lace 2024, and you can do a little search for that to see what everyone is up to. I know I'll start watching a few of those videos soon. So far, the only one I've watched is Cori's, but I hope to check out a few more down the road for inspiration. And again, kind of one last peek at the page and the circular tag that we created. And the tag that has a pocket on the front and the back side using lace. So until next time, everybody, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.